How does a man who makes the whole world laugh die completely alone? We are not talking about just any man. Someone who earned $48 million in 2 years. Someone who made hundreds of millions of people laugh every Thursday night for a decade. Someone who had 5 of the most famous people on the planet standing beside him through his worst moments. And he still died face down in a jacuzzi with nobody home. I am going to tell you exactly how that happens. By the time this video ends, you will understand something most people spend their entire lives never seeing. Why fame does not fix broken people. Why money does not heal old wounds. And why the funniest person in the room is almost always carrying the heaviest thing. This is not a recap of facts you already read in a headline. This is the story underneath the story. The one that starts not in Hollywood, but at a border crossing in Canada, where a father handed his 9-month-old baby to his grandfather and walked away. Everything starts there. Every pill, every failed relationship, every joke he desperately needed to land, every relapse. It all traces back to that one moment and what it taught a baby boy about whether he was worth staying for. Stay until the end, because I will leave you with one idea so simple and powerful that you will think about it the next time someone makes you laugh. August 19, 1969. Williamstown, Massachusetts. Matthew Perry is born into a world that already has cameras in it. His father appears in Old Spice commercials playing on televisions across America. His mother becomes press secretary to Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. One parent on screen, the other standing next to the leader of an entire nation. Then everything shifts. His parents separate when Matthew is 9 months old. He cannot walk yet, cannot talk. All he knows on some deep wordless level is that someone left. He grows up asking one question he cannot even name properly. Simple. Devastating. Am I worth staying for? He never fully finds the answer. He acts out, gets bad grades, punches a young Justin Trudeau in the schoolyard out of pure jealousy. Then he finds tennis and discovers something he can control for the very first time. He practices 10 hours a day. By 13, he reaches number 2 in Canada for his age group. Tennis gives him the one feeling nothing else has. That effort leads to results. That feeling does not last. At 15, he moves to Los Angeles believing tennis is his future. California players are on a completely different level. He starts losing matches he expected to win. The one thing that made him feel powerful stops working overnight. He takes his first drink at 14. Back in Ottawa with his closest friends. They split a bottle of wine. The others feel sick. Matthew lies back in the grass and thinks, this must be how normal people feel all the time. That is the most heartbreaking sentence in this entire story. Not because of what it says about alcohol, but because of what it says about how he felt when sober. That first drink made him feel normal for the very first time. By 18, he is drinking every single day. 3 failed sitcoms. 1 rejected pilot. Nearly broke at 24. Then he reads the Friends script and his hands go still. Every joke Chandler Bing makes, every deflection, every way of using humor to avoid feeling things. Someone has written Matthew Perry onto a page and given him a different name. But a contract from his last failed pilot traps him. He cannot audition. He sits in his apartment coaching other actors for the role of his lifetime, helping them find the character that should have been his. One night alone on the 10th floor, something breaks open inside him. He gets on his knees and prays for the first time in his life. 3 weeks later, the network cancels his trapped pilot, calling it one of the worst things they have ever seen. He auditions for Friends, gets the part. In September 1994, the whole world meets Chandler Bing. The money grows fast. Eventually, $1 million per episode. $48 million in his final 2 seasons alone. Then $20 million every year just from reruns. And none of it brings him peace. He describes fame as a white-hot flame. He felt like he would die if the audience did not laugh. When a joke landed flat, he would sweat shake and panic. 10 years of that. Week after week. That is not fame. That is a prison with very good lighting. After a jet ski accident, painkillers enter the picture. They do what alcohol did at 14, make the noise go quiet. At his worst, he takes 55 Vicodin tablets every single day. Visits 8 doctors simultaneously, making up injuries to collect prescriptions. His weight falls to 128 pounds. He cannot remember filming 3 entire seasons of the show he prayed to be on. Between all of it, he tries to love people. Julia Roberts tells producers she will only guest star if connected to Chandler's storyline. Matthew sends 36 red roses. She sends back bagels. By the time her episode airs, they are already together. Then the fear arrives. 2 months later, he ends it. He cannot handle the thought of someone like her leaving him first. He calls himself broken and unlovable. He does not lose Julia Roberts to bad timing. He destroys it himself before she can hurt him, because that 9-month-old boy at the border taught him that waiting to be left is the most painful thing in the world. So he leaves first, every single time. He does it with a brilliant television executive who gives up parts of her own life to care for him. He does it with Lizzie Kaplan after 6 years together, coming within a breath of proposing before the old fear surges back cold and familiar. At 53, he admits that if he had asked, he might have a family by now. Instead, he has Chandler Bing, a mask so well fitted that even the people closest to him cannot always tell where the character ends and the man begins. In 2018, at 49, his colon ruptures. Surgeons operate for 7 hours. His family is told he has a 2% chance of surviving. There are 5 patients on that machine that night. He is the only one who opens his eyes again. 2 weeks in a coma. 5 months of recovery. 9 months with a colostomy bag. 65 detox attempts across his lifetime. 15 rehabilitation programs. $9 million spent trying to get clean. The wound that started everything, the one at the border crossing, never costs a single cent. It just costs everything else. On November 1st, 2022, he releases his memoir, Everything on the Page. The 55 pills, the 128 pounds, the $9 million. All of it written for strangers sitting in the dark who need to know the other side exists. He talks about penguins in an interview. When one is hurt, the others gather and hold it upright until it can walk again. That is what his castmates did. They circled around him through every relapse and held him up when he could not stand. By late 2022, he has been sober 18 months. People close to him say he seems better than he has in years. He looks good. He seems like a man who finally made it through. Then come the final weeks. 2 licensed doctors see a desperate man with money and make a business decision. They charge him $55,000 for drugs costing $12 each. They teach his untrained assistant how to inject him. 1 injection leaves Perry frozen and unable to speak. They leave more vials behind when they go. October 28, 2023. He plays pickleball in the morning. Seems happy. That afternoon, he is found face down in his jacuzzi. His assistant had stepped out. He is alone. By the time help arrives, it is already too late. Across the fence, a 17-year-old neighbor watches everything unfold. He had met Perry once and found him genuinely kind. He watches firefighters move quietly through the backyard with a calm that feels different from other emergencies. By evening, crime scene tape stretches the length of the street. He ends his account simply. He hoped the people who loved Perry could find a way to come together. So how does a man who makes the whole world laugh die completely alone? Here is the answer. He does not die alone because nobody loved him. He dies alone because he never fully believed he deserved to be loved. That belief was planted before he could walk. A father at a border crossing. A baby handed off. A boy who spent 54 years making people laugh while quietly destroying every relationship that came close enough to matter. The drugs were never really the problem. They were the solution he found to a problem he could never name. He did not believe he was worth staying for. And every time something came along that might have proven otherwise, he ended it before it could prove him wrong. Because being right about being unlovable felt safer than risking being wrong. He made it so close. 18 months sober. A book written to help strangers. He played pickleball the morning he died. And the door was still open. Here is the idea I promised you. The funniest person you know might be the one who needs someone to stop laughing for a moment and simply ask how they are really doing. Not the performer, the real one, behind all the jokes. Matthew Perry made the whole world laugh. The world just never learned how to make him feel like he was worth staying for. Remember that the next time someone makes you laugh,